Tonight, the interest rate went down today. We get local reaction and what it means going forward. Plus, a local team is heading to an international competition. And the Prince George Knights U18 AAA team preps for their home opener this coming weekend. Good evening, I'm Eddie Huband and welcome to CKPG News. Our top story tonight, the Bank of Canada has cut its key interest rate a quarter point to 4.75%. The first time the bank has cut the rate in more than 4 years. Adam Burles has more now on what this will mean for inflation, as well as first-time homebuyers and those with mortgages.
March 2020 was the last time the Bank of Canada lowered its key interest rate, and with Wednesday's quarter-point decrease to 4.75%, the central bank has more confidence that the country is getting closer to hitting the bank's target for inflation.
We've come a long way in the fight against inflation, and our confidence that inflation will continue to move closer to the 2% target has increased in recent months.
The announcement comes as good news for would-be first-time homebuyers and people with variable rate mortgages.
There's a lot of people who are considering getting in the market, and I think this is going to give them some confidence that rates are actually leveling off or going down rather than going up.
While the rate cut is a good sign, in terms of mortgages, however, it may take a while for Canadians to notice a difference.
The rate adjustment isn't going to be a game changer for many Canadians. The biggest change is the sentiment towards where mortgage rates are headed. We've been in such a high rate environment for so long that it finally feels like the government is starting to relieve some of that pressure and that we are now starting the trend downward.
Canadian banks are lowering their prime rates, including RBC, TD, BMO, CIBC, and Scotiabank. And the Minister of Finance says that Wednesday's rate cut is a sign that the government's economic policy is working.
First among the G7 lowered interest rates. It's the first time rates have gone down since COVID hit. This is a tremendously important day for Canada, and it is our responsible economic plan that has made it possible.
Tiff Macklem says that restrictive monetary policy is helping relieve pressures, saying that the timing is appropriate to lower rates.
Restrictive monetary policy is working to relieve price pressures. And with further and more sustained evidence underlying inflation is easing, monetary policy no longer needs to be as restrictive.
The Bank of Canada will decide whether to cut interest rates further at their next meeting on July 24th. Adam Burles, CKPG News.
The Nasco First Nation is hoping for a solution at the Michelle Creek fish crossing west of Quesnel. Fish are not getting through the crossing and into Stump Lake. We spoke with Chief Leah Stump of the Nasco First Nation to find out more.
That was the main spot where they would camp and then put the fish trap into the water and catch all the fish and get the fish prepared for the winter by smoking it, drying it. And now there's a big drop off from the culvert. And I think it's happened over time too, from all the flooding and different things happening. But now the fish are right there jumping up, trying to get back up into Stump Lake. We haven't been successful so far reaching out to the government, reaching out to Ministry of Transportation to try to find a solution, either a bridge or to replace the culvert, something that can help the fish come back into the lake, because right now we have the white fish that are coming down through Michelle Creek and coming into the lake, but that's not the fish that we want to eat and we can harvest.
Prince George RCMP are asking the public for help to find a wanted criminal. 39-year-old Brittany Kathleen Reimer is wanted for assault, theft under $5,000, and uttering threats. Police say she's considered dangerous and should not be approached. She's 5'5" to 128 pounds and has blonde hair and hazel eyes. If you have any information, please call Crime Stoppers or Prince George RCMP. With more RCMP news, for over 2 decades, Cops for Cancer has been a beacon of hope in the fight against childhood cancer. What started as a single police officer's noble initiative in 1997 has now blossomed into a nationwide movement, making it one of Canada's most significant fundraising events for childhood cancer research. And this morning, members from the local Cops for Cancer bike team set up in front of Denny's restaurant, raising funds, with 100% of proceeds going to life-saving pediatric cancer research and supporting children with cancer and their families. This year's bike tour begins in Dawson Creek and ends in Williams Lake.
So the money is raised through different riders. We have groups of police officers, support staff, paramedics, firefighters, as well as community support riders. And we all raise money through our friends and family or by doing different fundraisers in the community all the way until September. The ride starts September 20th to the 26th. We start in Dawson Creek, riding up to Fort St. John, and then from Fort St. John down to Chetwynd, Chetwynd to Powder King, Powder King to Mackenzie, then to Prince George, Quesnel, and then finishing off in Williams Lake.
BC Seniors Advocate says many seniors are falling through the cracks in the province's existing support systems as they face the high cost of living. Dan Levitt says he visited hundreds of seniors during his visits to more than 20 communities throughout the province in April, and affordability was at the top of concern. He says 1 in 4 seniors in BC have annual incomes of less than $23,000, and many are increasingly at risk of homelessness. Levitt's comments came as his office released a report with recommendations for the province, starting with redesigning the Shelter Aid for Elderly Renters program, which he says is currently failing to ensure low-income seniors aren't paying more than 30% of their income on housing. A section of Tyner Boulevard will be closed from June 18th to the 20th as the City of Prince George completes stormwater work. The work will extend from University Heights Drive to the west of the UNBC entrance at Ceremonial Road, and construction will be to finalize the storm main crossing and repair 2 existing patches. If you're driving up to the UNBC, the city asks you instead use University Way from Foothills Boulevard. As for pedestrians, the walking path adjacent to Tyner Boulevard will also be closed, but a detour route will be available on Rowe Street. Local 17-year-old Sophia Garbett is preparing to represent Prince George and the province after being crowned Miss BC's Job's Daughters. Garbett will soon head to the States to compete internationally, and Tommy Osborne had a chance to speak with Sophia about her upcoming contest.
17-year-old Sophia Garbett is this year's winner of Miss BC Job's Daughters and is now preparing to head to Miss International Job's Daughters in Omaha, Nebraska. The Miss International competition takes place during Job's Daughters' annual conference called Supreme Session, and Sophia can't wait to represent Prince George on the international stage.
Everyone who can come from Canada, everywhere else in the US, Australia, Brazil, the Philippines are all going to come together and just have a grand old time.
Both the Miss BC and Miss International competition have an oral recitation, written test, and interview portion focused on the history, guidelines, and rules of Job's Daughters as an organization. It's her first time competing in the Miss International competition, but Sophia did have the chance to attend the Supreme Session last year, so she's excited to get back into the international scene again.
I met people from everywhere, and I have some really good friends now who are in like Minnesota and Delaware. And I met some girls from Australia, and we had a great time together, and it was really, really cool.
Job's Daughters is an organization for girls aged 10 to 19 to learn leadership skills, public speaking, get involved in the community, and more. Having been in the organization since she was 10 years old, Sophia says Job's Daughters has impacted her hugely.
I feel way more confident in talking to other people and talking in front of big groups, and just being myself is a really big thing. One of the things that I notice particularly is with a lot of my friends, they're doing the like teenager troubles with their parents, which is pretty common, but my mom and I have, because of Job's Daughters, I think, maintained a pretty good, funny relationship.
Sophia's mother, Joanna, is incredibly proud of her daughter's accomplishments and says it's been quite special to see how Sophia has grown and worked towards not only being Miss BC, but competing in Miss International.
Having her in a group that has encouraged her to find her voice and encouraged her to be the best person that she can be. I think that becoming the Miss British Columbia Job's Daughter has been the culmination of that.
The written exam, oral recitation, and interviews will take place from July 5th to 7th before the Supreme Session in Omaha, with the coronation taking place on July 25th. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
Last week, political tremors shook the province as Caribou-Chilcotin MLA and BC United Caucus Chair Lorne Dirksen crossed the floor to join the surging BC Conservatives, followed by Surrey MLA Eleanor Sturco this week. Sturco was arguably the second highest profile BC United MLA right now after party leader Kevin Falcon, speaking about the growing mental health and addiction issues in the media on a constant, almost weekly basis. As a former soldier in the Canadian Armed Forces, a former reservist in the Royal Canadian Air Force, a former RCMP officer and spokesperson who is quick on her feet, articulate, photogenic, and not afraid to take a stand, Sturco was a definite leadership frontrunner if she chose that route down the road. She's also part of the LGBTQ+ community and so instantly expands a BC Conservative Party appeal, giving the party more legitimacy when they say they are a grassroots movement for anyone and everyone that supports their policies and principles. Sturco, as a heavy-hitting, more moderate star candidate, is also an asset for the BC Tories in that she gives them the credibility that they aren't an extremist party, as Premier David Eby would like you to believe. What has become the perfect storm for Kevin Falcon, with the name change from the BC Liberals to the BC United and the ensuing precipitous drop in public support, has become the ideal political opportunity for John Rustad's more recognizable BC Conservative brand at a time when an increasing number of British Columbians are looking for more decisive policies in the face of growing challenges in addiction, crime, healthcare, and housing. Only a few months ago, John Rustad was positioning his party to gain a foothold in the legislature come this October. But now, with the incredible speed that this is all taking place at, with the growing defections of BC United MLAs and the sustained shift in the polls, the BC Conservatives are now positioned to challenge the NDP head on when the writ drops. With only 4 months to go, all bets are off, and if recent events are a sign of things to come, it's going to be an incredibly interesting summer for BC politics. I'm Chris Beach, and this is the Northern View.
As of this morning, the lowest gas price in Prince George was sitting at $1.59 per litre at Costco. The lowest price in the province right now is in Grand Forks at $1.51.9 per litre. Manitoba has the lowest fuel prices on average in the country at $1.38.8 per litre, while BC has an average price of $1.77 per litre.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Join the Domino's Lunch Club with 25% off all regular price pizzas every day. Visit domino's.ca to join the club.
The Prince George Knights U18 AAA team is gearing up for their home opener this weekend at Citi Field. The team is coming off a hot start to the season, and Anthony Correa caught up with them as they get set to take on Kamloops and Kelowna.
It's music to the ears of any baseball player. The crack of a bat as the Prince George Knights prepare for their home opener this weekend.
So we're facing Kamloops and Kelowna, so we're excited. It's a couple good matchups. We played them obviously a bunch over the last few years, and we've had some really good games against them, so we're excited. The boys are fired up, first home game, so yeah, it'll be good.
The U18 AAA team got off to an incredible start this year, running the table at the Rivers City Classic tournament in Kamloops. In regular season play, they have a 5-3 record and have really gelled as a team who are hitting their stride early on.
So easy with these kind of guys. They're also inviting, like really good teammates, there for each other, got each other's backs. I mean, we had a great off-season together. Most of us were all together off-season. Gives you lots of time to get used to the guys and just be around them.
The Kelowna Sun Devils and Kamloops River Dogs travel up north for 2 games each on Saturday and Sunday. Now it's about getting reps on defense and in the batting cages, getting the boys game ready for first pitch at Citi Field.
Well, we've seen Kamloops, so we're going to do a little pre-scout, right, to try to figure out what they do, right, so we can shut them down. In Kelowna, we haven't seen yet, so we'll just take it in stride.
The team doesn't play on home field often, so it's always exciting when they have the advantage and hope to pack the castle with fans this weekend.
Oh, I'm super excited playing in front of home fans. Lots of family and friends going to come out, cheer us on, and we're going to put on a good show for them.
Yeah, it's special. I mean, we got a great field. We got the best fans here, so it's exciting. We got, the boys are excited. That's going to be a great time.
We'll stick to the Diamond now. The Prince George Senior Men's Baseball League was back in action last night, and the PG Plumbing and Heating Tigers, they took on the PG Blue Jays. It was a low-scoring affair between these two teams, but the Tigers came out ahead with a 2-0 win. On the back of a beautiful pitching performance by Jacob Ross, who threw a complete game, striking out 10 batters in the process. On the offensive side, Hunter Fanshaw and Cole Laboilette came through with the bats. For the Jays, meanwhile, they just couldn't get anything going offensively as they still look for their first win of the year. League action resumes tonight when the Orioles battle the Mariners. First pitch is scheduled for 7 p.m. at Citi Field. The TSX is down 167 points to close at 22,145. The Dow Jones is up 96 points to close at 38,807. And CN Rail went up $1.01 to close at $172.52.
Good evening again, everyone. It is looking like we are going to be experiencing a nice warm and dry trend for really the rest of the weekend into most of the weekend. But our look back today, we had some clouds out there at times, and we still are on track for a few showers and a risk of a thunderstorm this evening. But after that, it's really going to be the high pressure that takes over. Futurecast, this is what we're looking at as we go ahead 48 hours, and it's not a whole lot. So it's really this warm and dry air that's going to take over the province, all coming up from the south, of course. A little bit of that instability up through the central and north coast still, moving into parts of Thursday morning especially, but it kind of fizzles out quite quickly. So we're left with a nice dry trend up there, at least for the afternoon hours up through Prince Rupert and Terrace. We should start to see a clearing trend on the way. 16 or 17 actually is where we could get to tomorrow. So that's just the beginning. We're kind of on the cusp of this ridge of high pressure tomorrow. It's really the southern half of the province that will warm up before us, but we are going to see temperatures bumping up into the 20s by Friday and even warmer than that into the mid-20s or so by the weekend. 18 Fort St. John. Tomorrow we could still have some southwest winds gusting up to about 40 kilometers an hour. Nothing too drastic, but again, it is bringing in that really warm air. 18 for Quesnel tomorrow. Beautiful. 16 McBride, maybe a few morning showers, but after that, you're going to see lovely, lovely conditions. 16 Vanderhoof, lots of sunshine. Fort St. James as well. Across Canada, this is what it looks like. It is a beautiful one along the west coast, even in through Edmonton, 20 degrees, lots of sunshine, and then really gusty conditions in through Regina tomorrow, although temperatures will be nice at 20 degrees, a little cooler in Winnipeg, or comfortable, 15 with sunshine. And further east, we've talked about the real hot temperatures that many areas have been experiencing, Montreal especially, and then Toronto with the humidity. It's been feeling a lot warmer than the posted temperatures. Well, the next few days still very warm, but we are going to see some instability or at least thunderstorm activity on and off over the course of the next few with the daytime heating. Sunny skies for the weekend, and this is it. It's all that warm area, and you can see that the jet stream is now pushing further north, allowing all of that hot air to take over. So Burns Lake, cold tonight, -2. Big change in temperatures for tonight and tomorrow. 14 degrees tomorrow. A few afternoon showers are possible, but for the most part, it should be quite a dry day, and then very sunny and pleasant from there on out. 24 on Saturday. It's going to be a beautiful one to be outdoors. Mackenzie turning clear tonight and a little bit chilly still. 16 tomorrow. Some sunshine and a few showers, possibly a stray shower or two, but nice and sunny skies for Friday, Saturday. Sunday looks great even into early next week. McBride, partly cloudy, showers late tonight and lingering into the bit of the morning, but then clearing in the afternoon, and you're left with plenty of sunshine as that ridge builds stronger. We see the temperatures going up to the mid to high 20s for the weekend, and it will back off maybe a little bit by the end of the weekend, but likely rebuild again in many areas. Quesnel, 4 degrees overnight, 18 tomorrow. You're up to 27 on Saturday. And for us in Prince George, it is going to be just a chance of showers, of course, as I mentioned this evening, 4 degrees, 16 tomorrow, maybe even hitting 17. And from there on out, it's brilliant sunshine for Friday and lots of warm temperatures as the ridge builds stronger.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Join the Domino's Lunch Club with 25% off all regular price pizzas every day. Visit Domino's.ca to join the club.
After a cold winter, many want to get out and do outdoor activities. If you haven't already noticed while heading down Massey Drive, the city has opened the beach volleyball courts. Heck yeah. Volleyball lovers who like the feel of fresh air on their face and sand between their toes can head to Carrie Jane Gray Park, where 3 tournament standard courts are available to the public. It will be a first-come, first-served basis, and it'll only be closed to the public while tournaments are underway. The city invites athletes to come down and enjoy some beach volleyball this summer.
Beach volleyball welcomes the community to come and use it anytime. First come, first serve. So it's open generally, obviously, as weather dependent. So spring till the fall, we're able to open it up dawn till dusk for everybody to come enjoy the beach volleyball facility. And what we've seen is a lot of use, so just casual use, and we've actually had even some tournaments. So beach volleyball tournaments, Volleyball BC's been interested in it. And the school is able to use it. So a lot of people are able to come down and enjoy the beach volleyball facility.
It's a whole countdown of who can hit the ball farthest. We show you 3 baseballs that rocketed out of the stadium, all in tonight's CKP3.
Up first, Royce Lewis returns in style.
They're all 33.5, 30.5 ounces.
A swing and a drive into left center and deep. Back it goes, deep it goes, and gone! Why are we not surprised? Royce Lewis, in his first game back, in his first game at Yankee Stadium, it's a home run, and the Twins are on the board.
First game back from injury, and he crushes the ball out of Yankee Stadium. The Twins have a superstar. Next, an Ellie bomb.
That is driven to straightaway center. Doyle way back into the shrubbery. De La Cruz straight away. His team leading 10th, and it's 2-zip. What a good sign for De La Cruz.
It is indeed, yes.
Ellie De La Cruz puts that ball into the forest at Coors Field in Denver, straight to deep center as it goes 448 feet. And finally, Stanton returns to top spot.
Drill deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. Into the second deck. A 2-run blast by Stanton. And the Yankees lead 5-1.
Yet another baseball crushed by the Yankee slugger, this one going into the second deck as Giancarlo Stanton takes top spot in tonight's CKP3.
And that's all the time we have tonight. Thanks so much for joining us as always, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great night.